Do you want to be right, or do you want to win elections? Let me see if I can say this again. Do you want to be right, or do you want to win elections? I have friends of mine, and I'm going to say this, they're on the left. And I'm going to give a couple of ideas of what I tell them, and they don't really seem to understand. They live in a world that has no idea of what the American electorate is all about. You see, they will talk about all day long the Middle East and Israel and Gaza and genocide and the ICC and the ICG and Bibi Netanyahu and Nakba and the Balfour Declaration and the Houthis and whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what country do you think you're living in? What country do you think you're living in where this makes any sense whatsoever? Now let me explain it to you. I tell them this, and they go berserk. Let me give you an example. Middle East, Palestine. What do they see? Kafiyas, people yelling and screaming and saying death, and at Columbia and Harvard, thinking, no, no, no. To the left, they think, oh, this is great. This is terrific. There was a woman named Medea Benjamin. She's from Code Pink. I've met her. I think she's a brave woman. I think she says a lot of great things about peace and about prosperity and human rights, and she's wonderful. She's the worst possible person to have as your advocate. Why? Because she comes across as a radical left loony. And people don't understand this. When she goes up with Nancy Mace and says, what about the kids that are dying in Palestine and whatever? And no, I'm thinking to myself, they're not listening to what you're saying. They're looking at you. Do you know why people are so happy about Harvard losing their tax exempt status or whatever it is? Because I kind of throw myself into this group even though I'm not really in it, but we and they hate Harvard because Harvard is the bastion and the representative symbol and the symbology of the radical left, like PBS. Do you think anybody cares about PBS? No. Anybody listen to PBS? No. If anything, I think crushing CNN somehow would make people happy. Why? Because it's symbols. Do you think nobody think? And the left does the same thing. They hate you and they hate Trump. Why? Because of what you said? No, because of the symbology. The symbols, the symbology, the semiotics of what Trump represents. Do you hear what I'm saying? Of what Trump represents. That's what gets them. That's it. They hate him. They hate him with a passion you can't understand. And so all of this talk is just a waste of time. They don't get it. They don't get it. The left doesn't get our love and respect for Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt to them is some rabble-rousing, trespassing, a goon or thug who basically I guess she earned or deserved her death. I don't know what the story is. But this is the way these bastards think. This is the way they think. So you and I can talk about things all day long. What does America care about? If you want to get the right, the Republicans to pay attention, talk about transgenders, talk about male. We don't talk about Ian, what's his name? Not Ian. Leah Thomas. Ian. The swimmer or whatever. That was a big one. DEI. DEI's dead. DEI was crushed. DEI, who cares? A lot of people said, well, we destroyed DEI at Harley Davidson. Who cares about Harley Davidson? But it doesn't matter. It's the symbology. Yes, the symbology. Look at the left. Look who they're clamoring after. What? Kilmar Garcia, whatever. Kilmar. They're into Kilmar. Kilmar is their what? Kilmar. This is what they believe in. Kilmar. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't put into words my disbelief, disgust. I don't know what the word is. I'm not sure. I can't. It's hard for me to even explicate how nuts this is. Why all of a sudden do people care about the due process rights of an illegal, murdering, rapacious gang member, thug, piece of human swill? Because it is contrary to you. They don't give a diddly damn about due process. What about Ashley Babbitt's due process? What about the number of Americans who were kept in captivity under the in the basement, if you will, the basement of some courthouse, and they don't care about that. This guy, come on, stop it. You know, I told my friend this, and they almost disowned me. I said, I'm not telling you what I believe. I'm telling you what works politically. When you waste your time, if you think the average American voter is spending any time thinking about Gaza, you're not paying attention, or the Houthis, or Hezbollah, or Iran. If you think that they hate, that the average American hates AIPAC and Bibi and Zionism, you're out of your mind. I don't know where you're from. I don't know what planet you're from. I don't know where, because you've been listening to these people. I'm not going to go through them, and they're good people, and I kind of like their stuff. Look, I love Judge Napolitano. Love him. And within his pocket and his faction, he is a hero, and his guests are brilliant. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. There are things, the perception is not there. America doesn't, I'm getting into Palestinians and Gaza. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I'm telling you. Houthis, the great Pablo Escobar, great journalist, makes the most incredibly important and critical points as to Yemen and the like. You think anybody listens to Pablo Escobar? No! No! I'm telling you they don't. That simple. They don't. It's something that I cannot put into words. So remember something. We just don't put it. Somebody told me years ago, I don't know how it is now, but years ago, Bollywood, the illiteracy rate in India at one particular time was so great that they put all of their advertising in posters with no writing, just pictures of the particular movie. That was more important. It's like a thumbnail, so to speak. The thumbnail is half the battle. America reads bumper stickers and thumbnails. America does not care about facts. The American voter, is about feelings and image and hating the other side. Hate is what America is about. Hating the other side. Not enemies. America doesn't hate China or Russia or whatever. No, we hate the other side. That's who it's about. Left hates the right, right hates the left. And as soon as you figure that out, you'll win every election you want. And if you don't win an election, you're wasting your time. Please follow this channel. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, implore, and import you and you to comment as you see fit.